For as long as any of us have looked up at the night sky, the moon has been right there, our silent companion, a witness to all of human history. Half a century ago, we actually touched its surface. And then, we just stopped. But now, something really extraordinary is happening. A new giant leap that could honestly change everything.
So that's the big question we're diving into. I mean, why the 50-year gap? And what on earth makes this time so different? The answer? Well, it's a story about where we've been, where we are right now, and a future that's much, much bigger than just our closest neighbor in space.
All right, let's talk about that 50-year pause. To really get why we're going back now, we have to rewind the clock a bit and ask a much simpler question. Why did we ever leave in the first place?
It's kind of wild when you think about it. After the incredible triumph of the Apollo missions, the moon went from being the ultimate destination to just a distant memory. The world moved on, and our footprints up there in the lunar dust, they were just left undisturbed for generations.
And that long pause brings us right back to the original moonshot, Apollo. It was this incredible, world-changing moment, right? A true symbol of what humanity could achieve when we put our minds to it. But it turns out it also had a very specific and very temporary purpose.
I mean, look at this timeline. It was unbelievably fast. We went from setting this incredibly audacious goal in '61 to Neil Armstrong's first steps in '69. Just 8 years. But by 1972, with the final Apollo 17 mission, that was it. The journey was over. Humanity had broken free of Earth's grip, but really, only for a moment.
And that's really the heart of it. Apollo was never designed to be a permanent step into the cosmos. It was a sprint. It was a political race, plain and simple, driven by the Cold War. And once that finish line was crossed, the mission was, for all intents and purposes, over. The whole point was to plant a flag, not to build a home.
But now, a brand new chapter is beginning. NASA is going back to finish what Apollo started, and this time, the entire vision is completely different. Welcome to the era of Artemis.
And the shift in thinking here is just dramatic. We're moving from a political race to a mission of sustainable science. We're going from these brief flags and footprints visits to actually establishing a permanent presence. The objective is no longer just planting a flag. It's about building a future with a crew that truly represents all of humanity.
And the hardware they're building for this is it's on another level. You've got the Space Launch System, the SLS, which is an absolute monster of a rocket. Then there's the Orion spacecraft, designed to take humans farther into space than we've ever been before. But for me, the real game changers are those last two, a lunar gateway and permanent bases. This isn't about visiting anymore. This is about building the infrastructure to stay. And this part is so crucial. By sending the first woman and the first person of color to the lunar surface, NASA is making a powerful statement. They're saying that this next great chapter of exploration is a frontier for all of us, not just for a select few. Okay, this all sounds incredibly ambitious, right? But it does bring us back to our main question. With all this amazing new technology and this grand vision, why focus on the moon? What's there for us now that wasn't there 50 years ago? Well, the answer is that the moon holds secrets we're only now really equipped to unlock. There's real evidence of water ice hidden away in these permanently shadowed craters, and that is a total game changer. I mean, think about it. That's drinking water, that's breathable oxygen, and you can even split it into hydrogen and oxygen for rocket fuel, all sourced off-world. Plus, its ancient surface holds clues to the very birth of our solar system. It's the perfect place to learn how to live somewhere else before we take the next much bigger step. And a huge piece of that strategy is the Lunar Gateway. It isn't just a destination, it's more like a way station. You can think of it as a kind of base camp orbiting the moon, a command center, and a jumping-off point for the rest of the solar system. And all of this infrastructure, all this planning, it's all building towards something even bigger. Because, and this is the big secret, Artemis isn't really the end goal. It's the beginning of a journey to humanity's next great destination. 225 million. That is the average number of kilometers separating us from Mars. It is a staggering, mind-boggling distance, and it's a journey we have to be absolutely 100% prepared for. And that's the ultimate reveal. The moon is the proving ground. It's where we'll test all the new technologies, where we'll learn to use local resources, and where we'll figure out how to survive on long-duration missions in deep space. You see, everything we do with Artemis is really just practice for Mars. Just let that sink in for a moment. This isn't just science fiction anymore.
The real goal here is to make humanity a multiplanetary species. To one day stand under a red sky and watch 2 moons rise instead of 1. That is the future Artemis is trying to build.
Because ultimately, this journey isn't just about rockets or physics or orbital mechanics. It's about something much more fundamental to who we are as a species. It's about that hunger to see what's over the next hill, to explore, and to constantly push the boundaries of what we think is possible.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? I think it's that history constantly reminds us that what seems completely impossible today can easily become tomorrow's reality. The moon was once unreachable. Right now, Mars still feels that way. But the universe is waiting, and our next chapter has only just begun.